Welcome back. Episode 2 of Fat Boys and Fairways. I'm Fat Boy.
I'm Cookie.
So, this morning
Was wet.
Extremely wet. We spent the morning, two separate teams. By the way, mine won. Just had to throw that in there at you. But
you had a couple of ringers.
You cannot count my 11-year-old son as a ringer.
You're a professional, and then you had Ryan Droke. Yes, I said professional.
That's a loose term. Air quotes. Anyway, so the Community Classic, we both played in that this morning as a 4-man select with our church, Crossroads Community Church, to help support the youth and getting them to all of our youth camps, getting them to all the events throughout the year to make sure that they're involved. And as a whole, we never, as a church, want to have to tell a youth no because of funds. And it also goes to the youth in the community if they have needs for baseball signs, basketball signs, whatever sports, theater, whatever they need as far as sponsorships to help with their funding. But wet, it did get a little wet and cold.
I've never played where the fairways turn into creeks, but they did today.
Was that a creek or a river?
I don't know. It was bad. It was real bad.
It was so bad, guys, that if you check out the last video posted, Cookie here actually had on sleeves and a jacket.
Yes, I did.
As much as he talked about the dress code at the local courses, he wore sleeves. We're all proud of him for showing up in sleeves.
I respect the game. Okay, I may not agree with the dress code per se, but I do respect the game enough to wear a polo to the golf course.
Okay, we'll give you that. At least there's some out there that athletic shorts and t-shirt. I just can't agree with that. Now, listen, I'm all for everybody getting involved in the game. Getting involved in the game is great. And hey, hence that we're gonna think about going into. We had a comment on last week's video about recommendations for beginners.
Yeah, absolutely.
So first recommendation for a beginner, I think, is really, I guess, a shameless plug for myself, but get lessons from whatever coach you can find. There's a lot of great coaches out there, but get some lessons. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I started at a really young age with my dad, so I kind of developed a golf swing before, now I feel like my golf swing is so ingrained in me that lessons don't help.
To say the least.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of John Daly. Grip it and rip it, swing as hard as you can. But yeah, I'd say lessons if you're just learning would be great, and also a decent set of shot improvement or score improvement clubs.
Absolutely. You talk about shot improvement clubs. So one of the things that was asked is like different clubs that we may recommend. There's really 3 main sets of irons. We have a blade iron, which is just a single piece iron, forged iron. Very, very small sweet spot on that club. Very hard to hit for beginners.
You can shape your shot a lot with them. But even your decent amateur golfers don't even swing those.
No, they are very, very
unforgiving.
Unforgiving is a great term. Then there is a forged cavity back, which is still a single piece iron, but it has a little bit of a cavity on it to open up, be more forgiving for mishits off the center of the face.
A lot of them have foam inside of them.
Absolutely. And then you have the full cavity back. Actually, you have one right here.
Yeah.
Nice little full cavity back. It's usually a 3-piece iron. They actually make those sets that come with a full set of cavity backs, come with woods, such as a driver or 3-wood hybrids. Hybrid is a mix between an iron and a wood that's actually easier to hit.
So they say. I can't hit that. I'd rather hit a 4-iron than a hybrid.
I just recently found a set of hybrids because of the shaft that's in it, and it's very easy to hit for me. But I was a big component of let's go with irons because I couldn't hit them either.
I'm a fan of iron. Today I was on a par 5, 205 out. I have a hybrid. I pulled out a 4-iron and put it on the green.
And he got lucky. Don't let him kid you. He got lucky.
But if I'd had a hybrid, I'd have sliced it way out of bounds.
But then you have somebody like, Fred Couples on the senior tour now. He's actually got like 7 Woods hybrids in his bag. And
his lowest iron's a 7-iron.
Right. And so you've actually only got, you only have 14 clubs in the bag. And as 14 clubs in the bag, 7 of those being hybrids and one of them being a putter, he's only got 6 other irons, which is excellent. And it all depends, but find you a decent set of cavity back irons, the most forgiving set you can find. A lot of good name brands out there. You don't have to have one of the name brands to start with. They make some really cheap sets, come with a bag and everything.
Especially if you're young. I bought my daughter, I think I paid $125, and it came with a putter, a wedge, a 7-iron, a hybrid, and a driver in a bag, and it was like $125. It was great for her. She was 9 years old at the time. She is now ready to step up to a ladies set.
Speaking of kid sets, always remember when we have kid sets do go off of their height. Make sure we're not getting a club that's too long for them, but go off their height and find a set in the details on Amazon or wherever that may be, and make sure that set has their height inside the parameters of that set, so that they can make a proper swing and not be out of the way with that. If you're going to go with a full set, even for adults, they make great full sets out there that come with everything that are not super expensive.
You can get them for under $500. You can get $399, $250 sometimes. You can even go get used sets. There's places that sell just used clubs that you can go get a really good used set and not break the bank just until you decide if you like golf. Jason and I, we've spent a little more money on our clubs just because we know we enjoy the game. We're willing to spend a little more to have a little better club we like.
And we've both been playing quite a while.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I'll put this out there. Listen, if you find me on any social media, you can reach out to me if you have any questions about clubs. I would love to help you make sure you get the right set of clubs to get started with. But again, make sure once you get a set of clubs that I highly, highly recommend that you find you a teacher, whether that's myself with TriStar Performance Golf. I have to throw that out there, or one of the other great teachers in town. There are great teachers in this area to go with that can teach you a lot about the game, but you want to learn the basics of the swing so that you're not ending up like Cookie over here and ingrained in a swing that works some of the times.
Yeah, if I square it up,
if you square it up.
Which I will say, I put a net in my garage this past winter, and I was hitting 100 plus balls a day on it, and my game has improved drastically this year.
Which, if you hear Tiger or any of the main pros out there, they will tell you constantly hit balls.
Yes.
Hit golf balls. Hit more and hit more and hit more. And that's great. And I that's coming from them. You can't combat that. I still am a big component of getting lessons.
Yeah, I won't.
Lessons are. Hey, we have our first guest star, Millie. Welcome, Millie. You want to say anything to the camera? No? Okay, it's fine. She's a little shy at first. But outside of that, you can always reach out. We'll be willing to help. Do whatever we can to make sure you get in the right set of clubs. And if you have any questions about lessons or anything like that, you can always reach out. Or there are plenty of other people in the area that give lessons that are great teachers and great to go with.
And even if you're not in the area, go find somebody that can at least help you get a swing started. You see a lot of guys out there that really, really need to go get.
Would you say a minimum of 6 lessons?
Probably.
Just minimum of 6.
I mean, even like me, I've been playing since I was a kid. I have a really baseball type swing. I load up. It looks like I'm trying to yank him over the left field fence.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Jason watches me swing and gives me tips and pointers all the time. Free of
charge.
He
doesn't listen.
Yeah.
He tries. He tries to listen. Luckily, his daughters listen a lot better than he does, and they've started a lot younger. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Actually, I started a lot younger than them. I just quit and played baseball for 20 years.
But I'm just here to tell you, if them or my son listen well at all, both of us are in a world. We're in for a world
Oh,
of
yeah,
hurt
we're
because
gonna
they're going to
lose.
beat us real quick.
Yeah.
Ryland. Speaking of Ryland, he was actually in the last video. My son, little fathead as I call him. Uh, he was actually on my team today for the first time ever. He's been begging for years, going into middle school next year, and he was on our team for the first time this year. And he actually played very well. I'm not looking forward to the day that he's going to beat me, but it's coming very quickly, and I'm going to have to pick his ball up and throw it in the pond because I'm not going to deal with that very well. So
You just gotta be proud of him, man.
I'm very proud, but I don't. I mean, he's 11. I don't want him to beat me yet.
Well, when he's 15, he starts smoking you. It is what it is.
I don't think it'll be when he's 15. I think it'll be when he's 12.
It might be.
But we'll see. We shall see. Well, Community Classic. We also had, the comment and talking about beginners clubs. What about this week in golf with Scotty Scheffler?
He's finally showing up this year.
Finally.
I'm not a betting guy, but if I was betting, I would have lost money on that dude several times this year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, but even then, why would you bet on somebody that's minus 200 to win after the first round? You're going to lose money no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think he shot, a 61 first round?
63 the second round.
So he's up by 6 shots going into the third round, moving day.
He's 21 under right now.
I know, earlier in the year, Phil Mickelson put something out there on Twitter that he didn't think that Scotty would win before the Ryder Cup this year. I have a feeling that he's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, closest person to him is 5 shots back. That's a big margin.
It can be made up.
It can be made up, but can it be made up on Scotty on a course that he's been just killing all week?
Well, tomorrow's the final round. We shall see.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Rory and Shane could not repeat last week. They couldn't, could they?
They couldn't. They couldn't come from behind.
So what about the 2 guys that won? Was it Novak and Ben Griffin?
Yeah. See, Novak played good at Pebble Beach this year.
He did. That wasn't that he lost in a playoff?
No.
Or did he just?
No, that's Rory that won at Pebble Beach. He lost in a playoff in another tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But he's played good this year.
But for those 2 guys, if I'm not mistaken, they were close to giving up the game because it is so tough to keep your card out there with those guys. They are so good, all of them across the board.
So many guys too,
and for them to be on the verge of giving up their card and then turn around and get a win like that. Both of them get exemptions for 2 years. They're in the Masters next year. Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. It's just, that is so neat to see. And you like to see some guys out there that I would say are more like us as far as everyday golfers.
Yeah.
They're not the names that you hear every day, such as Scotty, JT, Rory, Jordan, things like. Somebody got a little loud on set, but that'll be okay. It'll matter. It'll buff.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we have kids, guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
Then there goes the dog. She's gonna go check it out for us, make sure everybody's okay. But outside of that, it's now we just get to sit back and watch because now these guys are not worried about keeping their cards. They both have enough money to live for a year now. They're not stressing every week.
They'll play loose. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, they may actually come on.
Hey, speaking of being loosened up and ready to play, what about your buddy Ryan that played with you that was in our video?
Dude, he was killing it.
I think you might have cheated on his handicap a little bit from what I hear.
I don't know about that. Hey, I just gave the handicap he gave me, but he's played.
I guess after playing 6 rounds in Myrtle Beach and then coming in for a local golf tournament, he
played 8 rounds in Myrtle Beach this week.
Oh,
so he's played 9 rounds this week.
And that must be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he was flag hunting today. It was awesome to see.
Dude, that just makes it fun. Even in the rain, to be flag hunting like that, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
We were 9 under, and I'm glad he was with us because if not, we would not have been anywhere near that. So, Ryan, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, I will send my shout outs to my teammates, Eric Brokish, Ryan Droke, and my son, Little Fathead, because we finished at 12 under, and probably more because of them. I just, hopped on their backs. I probably got a little heavy coming out through there, but we had a good time either way.
Yeah, I had a team of guys I used to work with. A couple of them, Jordan Rumble and Matt Royce. They're great dudes. And Ryan, he came down from Knoxville. He's my oldest friend. We literally started in daycare in the same month when we were infants. Been friends ever since. So it was a great day to get to hang out with him. That was cool.
Awesome to see. So
Even if it was wet.
I still don't think wet is the term. That was
torrential.
borderline miserable.
Yes, it was cold.
But it was for a great cause, so we'll stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Crossroads, had a tremendous turnout. We ended up having a ton of teams still show up with bad weather in the forecast. Shout out to all those guys that showed up for us today and showed up for the kids in this area, the local youth. A lot of kids will get to go to camp this year because of that and to other events. And a lot of things will be sponsored for them throughout the year. So just shout out to all the guys. I think we had 88 golfers out there today.
Yeah, that's
which
awesome.
For a day like today is absolutely phenomenal. And then we had a dream team of people that showed up to help set up, tear down, help serve the food. What a day we had. Can't say enough about the people that showed up to help and the people
also,
that showed up to golf.
We got to give a big shout out to Gary and Flagstone Golf Club.
Absolutely.
Dude let us go out on he didn't make a cart path only. He kept the pace of play up. I know it was rough on the fairways because there were literally rivers running through the fairways. But if you're in Cleveland, check out Flagstone Golf Course.
And big shout out to Nikki that works in the clubhouse with him, setting up all the carts for us, setting up all the scorecards for us, getting all that set up, and then Rhonda making it clean out there on the patio, just making sure everything was cleaned and set up for us first thing this morning with the tables. Just shout out to all those guys out there, and thanks again for Flagstone for supporting us and all that we do with that tournament and have for many years, and we look forward to many more to come. Just thank y'all to all of that. So now,
rule changes.
Oh, here we go.
Got to go to the rule changes.
Do we really have to go to rule changes? Because I just have a feeling between me and you, this might not end well.
That'd be all right.
Be all right. It'll buff.
We can run outside the box.
We're not going to box.
Why not?
We're not going to box over rule changes.
Why?
Because that's not that. That's
like
not where we're going to come to.
I like the box.
We're gonna agree to disagree on some of these things.
We'll box.
We're not boxing.
Wait and see this.
Fat boys in fairways will not have a boxing match. I'm too old and fat for that.
We might put on some headgear and some gloves,
or we might not.
Hey, if we get 500 likes on this video, we will put on the headgear and boxing gloves.
Hold on, time out. I will say we've got to get to 1,000. At least if we get to 1,000 likes on this video, then I will put on some headgear and some boxing gloves and run away from you in the ring. Okay. And I got a guy in town, I think, that has a boxing ring and a sparring area that we could actually go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a side guest over there who's trying to shake her finger no at us because she don't think we should do that. Huh?
She's saying
500 likes. Come on.
No, I got to go for 1,000.
1,000 likes.
It's going to take 1,000 to get me to run around the ring because I'm old and fat and I can't do it. Anyway,
rule changes.
What rule changes are we thinking? What do we cover first?
So one of my bugaboos is
what?
Bugaboos.
What is a bug?
Gets under my skin.
Okay. Bugaboo.
Not getting relief out of a divot. That is not a natural part of a golf course.
I could.
See?
I don't know that I like bugaboo, but I could absolutely agree with relief out of a divot.
If somebody makes a divot and you come right behind them and your ball lands in their divot, that is not the natural part of a golf course.
So how?
6-inch relief.
6 inch?
6 inch, either way.
Okay. Listen, I can agree to agree. I like that rule.
I mean, how much is 6 inches off to the side?
So what? So how do you determine if it's a divot or a tire mark? And also, what if they have refilled the divot with the sand that's provided on the cart?
How many people actually do that at your local course?
Very few.
Exactly.
Just like they don't know how to repair a divot. So that's a pet peeve. Sorry, that's not a rule, but a pet peeve.
Also, you watch a pro tournament. There are tons of divots that have not been. I mean, caddy didn't carry around sand.
No, and not everybody takes one of those big grass stakes out like some of those players.
Yeah,
it's not easy to replace.
But I think it was. I I think it was Akshay Bhatia was in a divot the other day.
The
Akshay Bhatia.
Sure. Okay. I know who you're talking about, but I don't know that's how you pronounce his name. Either way, we apologize to you if that's not how we pronounce your name, but we tried. We're from the South.
He was in a huge divot, and I was like, would it really hurt to move that ball 3 inches to the right, since that is not a natural part of the course?
Okay. So with that, what about a tree root that's not in a hazard?
So tree root's natural.
Okay, so you don't get relief from a tree root.
Now, if I'm playing, and I'm not, regardless if I'm playing, I'm not breaking my wrist on tree root.
Or my club, because I can't afford to replace
exactly.
it. So local course rules, I think you get relief.
Yeah.
Obviously on tour in a major tournament, you don't get relief. We gotta.
I would hit it back. Keep from break. I watched Rory break his wrist one year on a tree root. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it. So we've got relief from a divot. What's another rule change you'd like to see?
Grounding in a hazard.
Nope. Sorry, I disagree on that one.
Why?
Because you can improve your lie. If you ground your club behind the ball in a bunker, or you ground your club in a hazard, you're pressing down grass, you're improving your lie. That's a rule that's got to stay.
I mean, you can press down grass in the rough and improve your lie. So what's the difference?
But in a hazard or
What's
in a bunker, you're not, you cannot.
Do you know how many times I've taken my club and mashed the rough down behind my ball?
So what about a bunker?
What's the difference?
So you're going to be able to put this, because then you can get good contact on the ball.
Exactly.
We've seen Patrick Reed do it too many times.
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to throw it out there. I had to, because he has done that multiple times, intentional or not. There is video evidence of him moving the sand behind his ball.
I mean, can you not do that with your foot?
No, you cannot improve your lies in a bunker or in a hazard. You can't.
Same.
I disagree.
Couldn't you walk to your ball? Walk from so say if you're in a bunker, you walk from the green towards the bunker, step down into the bunker, step right behind your ball, and then turn around, line your shot up?
Technically, according to the rules, you cannot do that.
Why not?
Because you can't improve your lie.
I still think you should be able to ground your club.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. Just like you can't take a practice swing in a bunker and actually take any sand. I will say you should be able to take a practice swing in a bunker because you can take it in the rough.
Yeah.
And move sand, but you cannot ground your club behind the ball.
I mean, how many times have you seen somebody take a practice swing in the rough and grass fly up?
Me, multiple times today.
Yeah, me too. What's the difference between that and the bunker?
Okay.
Other than it's just a pile of sand.
Okay. I still disagree. That one we're going to disagree on. What's the next one?
If you're playing 2 men in a golf cart, both people should not have to pay the cart fee.
Amen.
It should be split between the 2 people.
No offense to Gary and Flagstone or any other local course, but 2 people in a cart should not have to pay the cart fee. That's ridiculous.
They should take the cart fee and split it between both people.
Absolutely. Should you have to pay a rider's fee if somebody's riding in the cart with you while you're playing?
I don't think so, because then that takes people, like my wife and I went and played the other day. If they made me pay a fee for her just to ride along with me, I wouldn't even have came out that day.
Right, they're already charging you a cart fee. That's like 2 people playing for the same cart.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I would not have came out that day because our kids were with my parents. We were spending time together, and she wanted to just go ride with me while I played quick 9 holes. If I had to pay for that, I would not have. I
do not disagree. I completely agree with that statement. We do not need to pay 2 cart fees for the same cart.
Yeah.
Okay. Range finders with slope.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, most of us use them on an everyday course. Around here.
I don't use one, but
I use a rangefinder.
I use a rangefinder, but
I've got a rangefinder. I've got an app on my phone.
I've just got GPS.
Now the carts have GPS,
but I don't have one with slope.
So, what do you think of rangefinders on the tour?
I think it improves pace of play. I think it would make it more interesting to watch because you would have exact distances. And I watched Xander Schauffele the other day discussing with his caddy, do I need to hit 172 or 174? And I'm like, yeah, hit a 170-yard club on that.
How do you hit a 2-yard difference and know you're going to hit that?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I listen. I don't know that I can do that.
Yeah, that's like
We
with
get
me.
close.
Like they were talking back and forth about do I hit it 172 or 174, and I'm like, yeah, because
Absolutely.
I would pull out my 7-iron and hit a 170-yard club on that, and
Or you'd hit it 190 because you sculled it across the green.
exactly.
Baseball swing.
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
so if pros had the exact,
So they tried it last week, and or is it this week they're trying it at the CJ Cup? One of those. We'll have to get back to you on how the rangefinders, if they improve pace of play or not. I don't remember. I think it was last week.
well,
But they tried that.
There was that rookie this week that took 10 minutes to take a shot because he had mud jammed up in his shoes. That was ridiculous. He should have just played barefoot.
Pace of play has to be corrected.
It does. These guys taking 5 minutes to take a shot is redonkulous.
I mean, redonkulous. There's another word.
Redonkulous.
Bugaboo and redonkulous. Guys, I promise
Tennessee-isms.
we may eventually get y'all like a list of words and their meanings. Is if Cookie keeps talking over here because I'm not real sure what he's saying most of the time.
So I've got friends from different part of the country. They call them Tennessee-isms.
Tennessee-isms.
Yes.
That would be a good term for Tennessee-isms. Kind of like I got my distance right, but my towards is off.
Yeah. Have y'all ever heard of towards?
My towards is off.
If your towards is off, that means you're
If it-
flag high, but
You're right or left.
right or left, your towards is off.
Towards is off.
You weren't towards the hole.
So we had to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
My towards was off a couple times today.
My towards was off real bad when my club started spinning in my hand every time I swung the club.
So what is there any other rule changes that come to mind right off hand?
Right offhand. Yes. I think we should wear like polos with sleeves cut out of them.
No, we should not. Polos with sleeves cut out of them?
Women wear them.
Because they're women. They're taint. Don't give no.
And see, women wear shorts and skirts in pro matches when they shouldn't.
Because they look better than the men
Well, if they
in
want
shorts and skirts.
if they want to wear short knee-length shorts, let them. That's why the Live Tour is.
Now I don't get me started on the Live Tour. Although it is growing on me.
Dude, they
because
play
it's
music
like-
the entire time.
It's like a bunch of guys like us getting out there to play. And I'm going to tell you that the range goats, I absolutely love that. That is awesome. And the Crushers is growing on me with Bryson DeChambeau.
Like Bryson. So I was not a huge fan of Bryson previous to watching him on YouTube.
Absolutely.
I started watching him. He's just a normal dude. He just likes to have fun.
And
He's super smart. He's with his vector putting and stuff's like way over my
stuff
head.
we don't understand.
Yeah, but he just likes to go out and goof off and have fun on the course with his buddies. And that's what we do.
Absolutely. And I like that. I like the breaking 50. But the range goats, Bubba Watson, I've always been a Bubba Watson fan. I still don't know that I'm sold on the Live Tour, but it'll probably continue to grow on me.
One thing I like is they play music the whole time. If you watch a Live Tour tournament, there's music playing the whole time.
I do like music on a golf course. That makes a big difference.
So the old school golf guys do not like to see people drive by in their golf cart with music playing.
See, I'm more like you got to give me like the Caddyshack, Rodney Dangerfield, let's dance, because we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, the traditional old school guys.
Oh yeah,
they like I was told at a local course here that I had to turn my speaker down. They told me that the Ranger was 140 years old. He was already being a stickler and a jerk about everything. I was 1 minute late to the tee box on my first.
Early is on time is late.
Yeah, well, I had to get a dozen golf balls from the pro shop. Came 1 minute late. He was screaming at me. Then he comes by a little while later and says, "You got to turn the music off." It was just not a fan of that. Like I respect the game, but also you got to make it fun.
Okay, I'll give you that.
To keep the game growing, you have to make it fun.
Any other rule changes right offhand that you can think of?
Oh, what about you?
I don't.
You're more of a traditionalist.
I am a big traditionalist with the game. You know, you got to look the part. I don't think we need to wear cutoff shirts.
That'd be great.
I do think you need to look professional on the course, but I don't want to go back to shirts and ties and jackets and all that stuff.
Which I mean, even
I think you can look. I think you can look very professional
in the business world. Like we've gone away. Like with my job, 25 years ago, you had to wear suits and ties to work every day. Now we wear khakis and polos.
I think you can look very professional in a pair of golf shorts and a polo, and I think that's fine. Outside of that, I am pretty traditional, and I think I want to keep it that way. I don't know that there's anything else I want to throw out there at the moment. Obviously, in future episodes, we will probably come up with some more rule changes. But with that being said, I think that may be getting close to the what we were going to cover tonight. Is there anything else you can think of? Any nonsense?
Just make sure you like and subscribe our video.
Oh, absolutely. Because as always, it'll be worth a putt.
Absolutely.